guys, this is Angie H, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. This is your weekly dose of tea where we dive right into holistic health, societal issues, and even a platform that gives you that motivation and inspiring thoughts that would help you see the rainbow even in your darkest cloud. So I want you to sit back, grab that cup of tea, and enjoy the show. Hello guys, welcome to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. I am your host, Angie H, and today we're going to talk about relationships, and what better person to talk about relationships than my homegirl, Miss Nakia Wilson.
Hi everyone. Angie, thank you so much for having me. You know, I tune in to the podcast on a weekly basis, so I am thrilled to have the opportunity to actually be on the podcast.
Yes, of course. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Why have you chatting?
Well, let's see. I am a branding photographer. I am based in Durham, North Carolina, but I travel everywhere and I love working with small business owners, bloggers, influencers, and the like to help them brand their businesses and capture the story behind their businesses in photos.
Yes, and I can contest to that because she is my photographer. So when you see me looking great all across social media, it's because I only have one photographer. She kind of checks me a little bit though with my brand, but I guess that's what we hire her for, right? But she left out the part that she's Esquire. Yes, so she gonna get these contracts together too.
Yes, I'm also an attorney, and that's what I do during the day. That is my full-time job. But photography is also becoming my full-time job as well. So if you need any assistance with branding for your brand, for your company, please feel free to reach out. Nakia Williams Photography, www.nakiawilliamsphoto.com.
Yes, with the plug. You got it in the beginning, and you're going to hear it again. Write it down, rewind. But we wanted to talk about relationships. So we're probably going to do like two parts because I wanted to pose a question, and I did pose a question on my social media. What is the foundation to a good relationship? And we're not necessarily talking about marriage because, you know, I did the marriage episode, but I'm just talking about your overall relationships, your friendships, your business partners, different things like that. But then we're going to have to unpack Tyler Perry's new movie, The Fall from Grace. It had a whole lot of relationship topics in that, but, you know, we got to give it to you slow. But, I invited her on because we met through a mutual friend. And we met because of her photography. She was starting out in her photography, and our friend at the time had opened up her own boutique, so I was one of the models. And then I think we didn't really talk much, and then I reached out to you to do like a family photo or something. Right. Mm-hmm. But ever since then,
right, we've been shooting together and working together on different projects. But I do think that's how our friendship started.
Right. And what was so great, and the reason why I brought her is because when I had posed that question, I always run some of my topics by her. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I asked her, what do you think about relationships? Not necessarily your, intimate relationships, but like your relationship with your friends. What do you think the foundation is? And also Jen XYZ podcast, they said communication is key. Another friend of mine that follows the podcast said friend communication as well. But also what I liked about what Nakia said was being organic, letting things grow organically. And that is why I had her on, because that is what happened in our relationship. Can you just explain to us why you say let it grow?
I think a lot of times, I don't know, I think sometimes, I don't want to say a lot of times, I would just say sometimes we want to rush and give people these titles that they may or may not actually deserve, whether it's bestie or whatever, homegirl, whatever, I don't know. But I would say that I have a very small circle, and when I think about the circle of people that I have, not that I'm not open to meeting new people, But I would say that my best friendships have a lot of time behind them. You know, we've taken the time to get to know each other. We haven't rushed, and that also includes my marriage. I know we're not necessarily talking about romantic relationships, but just really taking the time to get to know the person, to see how they interact with other people, to see how they treat other people, see how they treat you. And just, you know, just taking your time to learn that person and allow them to learn you. I think, you know, just time is a huge thing in some of my closest relationships. As you know, like my very best friend, we've been friends for about 20 years. And it just kind of started out that way as well. And we've just grown organically, and we didn't rush anything. We weren't automatically like, oh, that's my best friend. We just took the time to get to know each other, to hang out. Same thing with my marriage. We knew each other. We were friends for about 10 or 11 years before actually getting married and getting engaged.
And that's good too. And yes, romantic relationships, we have to be, I think sometimes we get in a place where we don't want to be by ourselves, or we feel like the clock is ticking and I'm running out of time. And so we rush into these different relationships and romantic relationships and business partnerships. A lot of times business partnerships will fail because you didn't really know how that person handled business.
Right.
But I can speak on the fact that she has checked me, and I don't know if she remember checking me. Checking me.
When?
Right, you always checking me. So let's run it down. I think I craved having a sisterhood so much that I threw out that title. Oh, that's sis, that's my girl, this and that, too quickly. And I remember her telling me, you just need to slow down and wait, because you told me, you was like, you throw out that title, sis, too fast. And because I was always, a year later, I'm like, girl, I don't need to talk to her no more. She stopped talking to me. And so you was like, but you give yourself too freely. Like people are not even working for the value of you.
Right.
And you checked me. You told me, quit throwing that name around. Everybody is not your friend. I was like, oh, but I'm the oldest. You ain't finna tell me. But she was right. So now I doubt it back. I don't got that many sisters now.
Well, I think we can also, you know, people can be in different categories in our lives. You know, we have the very close friends. We have associates. We have people who are, you know, sisterly to us. And so there's a lot of different categories. And I think it's really up to you to determine who gets your time and who has access to you, and making sure that the people who have access to you and your time and your talents and your abilities and everything that's great about you are also reciprocating. So no one-way friendships.
Right.
2020.
Right. Absolutely not. We not sit here trying to make friends with people that want you to be the plug.
Right.
They want you to pop up, or they want to use you for the event or your connections.
Right.
But then when it's your turn, you hear crickets.
Right.
Just like that. So that was one thing that I can appreciate about our friendship, because when we needed to check each other or we needed to say something, it's that open space to correct each other.
Right.
And a lot of times you want people to agree with you.
That's true.
You just want somebody to be a yes man. Don't tell me about my life. I'm ratchet. That's my business. I'm in shambles, but you agree with me because you're my friend. Right. I don't want friends like that. I need people to check me. And between you and my sister Arkita.
Shout out to Arkita.
I get checked often.
And
but I'm getting my life.
That, you know, we all have the opportunity to check each other, correct each other, and it's all done in love, so we don't have to receive it with any type of offense or ill will. You know, we can just accept it. And that goes back to what we were talking about before. When you allow a relationship to grow organically, you know the intention behind someone quote unquote checking you. You know, you know that it's coming from a good place, it's coming from a place of love, and so you're not offended, and you can be open to what they're saying, even if it does sting a little bit.
Right.
Because I think you said things to me that sting a little bit too, but I know that it comes from a place of love and a place of just a place of love.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with like you said, your intimate relationships. Because I know that husband of mine, honey, he stings me a lot. It's to the point that my family, my sister again, Arkita, nicknamed my husband Pinpoint. Because he's always on point. But you know that needle that stick you, and you be like, did I just get that stung a little bit? And then you realize that you really got stuck because the blood's coming out. Yeah, he that type. But it's needed though. And that foundation of relationships has to be set. But then I had to look, when I was building relationships, I had to look at what I was putting out. Right. Because I was craving a sisterhood. I would always say, I want to take trips with my girlfriends. I don't have no girlfriends. So I was latching on to anybody. Right. So I was putting out that vibe, and I wasn't really checking for it. Like I wasn't really reading the vibe that I was getting back. Right. I was just giving of myself. And that is me. I am naturally a midwife. I am a giver. I'm a supporter. I want you to birth the greatest thing in you. Right. And people see that and they use me as like a booster. Right. Just like when that rocket go off and that booster pop off, it got me to that point. Then they take off and they be like, oh, okay then. Right. I was like,
see you later.
Right. Thank you, girl. Thank you for that fasting you did, honey, because I got the job. I don't really need you now. Right. No. Yeah.
I do understand that. And it's unfortunate, but, we thank God for all types of relationships because, good or bad, they serve a purpose, and there's always a lesson to be learned in each experience.
Honey, yes. We don't have enough time on the podcast to talk about some of these one-way friendships we done came out of, honey, but we got 20/20 vision. We seeing things clearly. Back in my day, my eyesight was 20/15, honey, but I couldn't see them heifers for who they really was. I don't know what was going on. I was blinded.
Yeah, and I think, going back to what you said about being able to correct each other in love is just, asking yourselves, especially at this age, we're over 30. It's like, what is the purpose? People are always like, what do you bring to the table? And it's not about using people, but you always want to evaluate your relationships and say, why are we coming together? Why are we friends? What is the assignment that we have together? God brought us together. What are we supposed to be doing? And so, I think that that's an important thing to look at as well, because we need to help each other. Like you said, it's not about using each other, but just making sure that the people who are around you are adding value to your life.
And that's good. And that's some advice that I had to chew on myself. And then I had to learn that I didn't want to be the smartest person in my circle.
Absolutely.
Because first of all, I'm pushing you, so you're gonna go even higher, which is gonna motivate me to go even higher. So we're pushing each other, we're helping each other grow. If I'm the only one that people come to, then what am I? I'm stunted.
Right.
Everybody's growing.
Pouring into you.
Right, honey. I am pouring out of an empty vessel, and we's about to be out here with cobwebs because I'm thirsty. I'm out here thirsty, and you sitting here with the cotton. Let me have the cotton mouth. Like, come on. So I totally agree with all of that. But so we're gonna take a quick break. I hope that you got something from that segment, because now we're about to go into this Tyler Perry.
Yes.
This Tyler Perry, honey, because we don't sit here and watch this movie.
Yes.
But again, I just wanted to encourage you guys to build those foundations on communication and let it grow. Don't force yourself to be so open. Be open for new relationships, but don't put everything out on the table until you know that you're going to get back what you put out. Because again, you can't pour from an empty cup. Anything you want to add in this?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Let's take a break.
Well, we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, business owners, are you looking for a unique way to showcase your brand, products, or even your services? Well, consider branding photography with Nakia Williams Photography. More than just a headshot, brand photography is a collection of professional images that represent your business. This can include photos of you, your team, your products, your services, even your process, your space, or all other things that makes your business unique. Nakia Williams Photography specializes in working with the business owner to create imagery that would take your business to the next level. So business owners, if it sounds like something that you need, please contact her today at www.nikiawilliamsphoto.com. Again, www.nikiawilliamsphoto.com. And be sure to follow her on Instagram and Facebook at Nakia Williams Photography. Hello and welcome back to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. So before the break, we were talking about the foundation of a great relationship. Yes. And so we said that when we came back to this segment, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Tyler Perry's Fall from Grace on Netflix, because we're about to unpack this whole relationship stuff that we seen inside of this movie. Yeah. So it really came at a good time before our podcast because we were going to talk about relationships. But let's see. Let's get back with Nakia. So how did you feel about the movie, first of all? As a lawyer, for sure.
Oh, well. I felt that there were some, I always feel this way when you're an attorney, when you see law-related movies, you're always analyzing the legal piece of it. And I will say that while there were some things that were on point that I could relate to, I know one of the issues was the public defender, who was, one of the main characters, having to deal with student loans and working with a difficult boss. I can definitely relate to that. I've been, there before. However, there were some legal inaccuracies in the movie that we don't have to talk about, but that's just, little nuances that I noticed that I said, I don't think this would happen in the real world, but that's just my own analysis. But overall, I thought it was a great movie. Very abrupt, shocking parts that I did not expect.
Right.
I mean, my jaw hit the floor a couple of times. I was like, wow, Tyler Perry, this is what we're doing? Okay.
Right.
But I enjoyed the movie for the entertainment value and, a few lessons.
Right. I know. I enjoyed it too. And a lot of times you see so many things on your feed and you be like, well, let me check it out. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes they be on point and sometimes you be like, what? But I can say this was not original Tyler Perry movie. Mm-hmm. Because this one, like you said, has so many different lessons to learn in there. Right. And it just fits right in to our relationship piece. Right. So the intimate side of the relationship. So in this movie, like, was there red flags? Like, how did we miss this? Did we know that this movie was gonna take a turn?
Right. I don't think we did. I don't think we were ready.
Right. I wasn't ready. I was not ready. And that just makes me think. A lot of times, I know I done had some duds, like in relationships, and then I think when you are such a good person and you try to see the good in everybody,
absolutely,
you kind of miss red flags. And though he didn't give us a whole lot of red flags, but she made a comment that I picked up on where she was saying something was, basically telling me, but it just felt so good.
Right.
We don't always listen to that gut.
Right.
And and a lot of us Christians, that spirit man be trying to say, chick, pause a little bit.
Right.
But why do you think that? Do you think it's out of not wanting to be alone, or someone just came along and made you feel like you haven't felt in years and they like awakened something inside of you? That we ignore those signs?
I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. I think she had been alone for a long time. She had someone come and basically sweep her off of her feet. One thing as women that we have is women's intuition. And, a lot of times we, have that gut feeling and we choose to kind of turn a blind eye. And it goes goes back to what you said, just trying to see the best in people. And, you know, we sometimes don't protect our hearts because we may even have our friends say, well, girl, don't be too hard on them, or don't do this, give them a chance, you know.
Right. And she did have that girlfriend, you going.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, did you set me up?
Like, hey, you need to get out the house. You've been watching the same 10 Netflix movies and sitting on the couch for the past 6 months. I think you need to get out. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's just, I think it was just a combination of things. And it just seemed like a big whirlwind. And things were moving at such a rapid pace, which goes back to what we were discussing earlier. Take your time and let it happen organically. But things were moving at such a fast pace. I mean, she met the brother, they're hanging out, they're spending a lot of time together, on the phone all the time, and the next thing I know, they're in the field of flowers and fireflies, and he's proposing. And I'm like, where did this come from?
Right. Yeah, like, it was like 3 months or something like that, right. But I'm guilty. I got engaged in 6.
Well.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was work. Even though we got engaged and married so fast, and we've been married for 12 years, it still was parts that we needed to know about each other. Right. Like, he needed to know that I can go from 0 to 10 in 2 seconds. Right. I didn't show him that in the beginning. Like, I didn't really show him my whole self because I was cute. Except for I ate in front of him because I love food.
Hello.
So I was not going to be, we eating samples. No, we not sharing one. You get one, I get one.
And maybe it's worthwhile to say that while you should take the time to get to know people, you can never know everything about a person. I mean, like you said, y'all are, how many years in?
12.
12 years in. I'm 4 years in with my husband. And when I tell you I learn something new on a regular basis,
right.
I'm learning something new all the time. But I will say that things in the movie moved at a rapid pace, and sometimes that's okay. And sometimes it works out, like in your case. And in this particular case, in the movie, it did not.
Okay. So, yeah. So that's on that whole intimate piece. You know, take your time and be open. You got to be upfront. I don't think people are upfront. If you got a side boo and you ain't really looking,
right,
please stop talking about you want to settle down.
Right.
So now you sitting here whining and dining me, and then you ghost me for a few weeks because,
right,
like, taking your time, getting to know people. And I know that, so we were not created to be alone. Mm-hmm. I do know that it is awesome to have a helper in the home, but just taking your time and letting it flow naturally.
And don't let man's, clocks and timelines affect what you're doing. I know as we get older, we worry about our biological clocks. We look around and sometimes we see our friends getting married, and even if you're, like in her case, she was a divorcee, and she was, just trying to get back into the dating game. But yeah, just be aware. That's all I can say.
Right. There are red flags that go bah, bah, bah. And we be like, that's not really a red flag. It's kind of like burgundy.
Right.
It's not like a complete red flag, but it really be like the bull.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so okay, so let's talk about these friends. How many of us have them? Friends like your homegirl.
Yes.
You got to be very, very cautious of those friends that you are cheering louder for. I mean, people will smile in your face and be a snake in the grass.
Yeah, it was, I don't even know how to start unpacking that relationship. I mean, this is someone I think she probably would consider to be her best friend. And the whole time she was behind the scenes orchestrating everything, and ultimately led to her eventual downfall, encouraged this relationship, essentially handpicked her to be a victim.
That part.
In this relationship. And so that was definitely scary, definitely eye-opening, definitely, I think all of us could take away that we want to make sure that the friends that we have, we're all on the same accord.
Right. Because when someone knows you, they know when your best friend knows your intimate details of everything in your life, and to find out that they were behind the scenes plotting on you. And how many, I mean, we've all had that friend. We were like, you know, they just stopped talking. You're like, what is going on?
Right.
Or you find out that they are sitting in other circles talking about the business that you share.
Right.
And that's another thing about that goes into mental health. I'm unpacking to you.
Right.
And now everybody know my business.
Right.
Or as soon as you get mad at me, social media know everything about me.
Absolutely.
So people don't share.
And that's the thing, you know, and I don't want to say that we need to stop being vulnerable, because I think that you should, but you definitely need to, you know, analyze who you're talking to, and if that person can be trusted, and, you know, pay attention. And we're going to get into these 3 P's at the end, but one of them is pay attention. You know, is that person always telling everyone else's business to you?
Honey.
Like, what do you think they're going to do if you're opening up? And that's a vulnerability. You know, that vulnerability is what can be exploited, because like you said, when someone knows your most intimate, innermost parts, that leaves you susceptible to being taken advantage of. And unfortunately, that's just something that comes with the territory of opening up to people. And I'm not sure how we can change that, because we don't know what people's motives are, right? You know, when we're sharing with them. But all I can say, honey, is pay attention.
Please pay attention. And another thing is pay attention to your family members, like your elderly family members.
Yeah.
Because they're building relationships too.
Right.
And they're trusting, you know, if you abandon your grandma, then the little girl down the street is calling her grandma.
Right.
And now grandma done got hoodwinked out of the Social Security.
Yeah, there was definitely some, you know, some key points about elder abuse, you know.
Right.
And it, like you said, when's the last time you've been to see your grandmother or, you know, your grandfather? Maybe you need to call them and check on them and, you know, see who's in their lives. Like you said, that can be exploited as well.
Right. So I just felt like that whole movie was eye-opener. And it kind of just gave us the point that you got to be very cautious of who you put in your inner core.
Right.
You got to be very careful. Now, build relationships, network, do what you need to do, because you don't know who you will need. But be very selective on who you let know everything about you.
I agree with that.
Because, I mean, you don't know who is behind the scenes. They probably was friends for 20-something years. She done seen her through a divorce, her job.
Right.
Honey, he done hoodwinked her. They sit here taking pictures of her information.
Yes.
Like you
theft.
Right. It was so much. Tyler took me too fast. I needed an asthma pump, and I don't have an asthma because I was just like out of breath.
Took our breath away.
Right.
I felt my jaw hit the floor. I really did. I felt it drop.
Because it was, I'm telling you, it was really something. But again, relationships, how you building your relationships, who you're building your relationships with, the people that you call friend, the people that and some people will support you so hard up front, but all they doing is secretly pulling pieces of you away to build them own selves.
Yeah.
So you got to be very, very cautious of that. But I just wanted to unpack, because if we keep talking about this movie, y'all gonna know the whole movie, and I don't want to spoil it.
Yes.
Again, spoiler alert.
Yes.
But I just wanted to share. I just wanted Nakia to come on and just share her thoughts, because our relationship grew over time. And she has her best friends, but it's some things that we still are close enough to talk about.
Right.
And I really appreciate that, because it was really hard for me to find people to talk to.
Right.
So I really
let's jump real quick into these 3 P's.
Yes, I was getting ready to say, she got these 3 P's, and I'm going to need you to write them down.
Yeah, just jot them down and, think about them. So the first one is pray about your relationships, right? because we're always having, people, well, I won't say all the time, but from time to time we have new people come into our lives, and we want to be open, right? We don't want to shut ourselves out. We don't want to say no new friends like Drake, because that's kind of an immature way of thinking, right? Sometimes we need new friends. We need people who can take us to new heights and introduce us to new things. But with that, you need to pray about the people who are entering your life and what their purpose is in your life, and how you can pour into them and how they can also add value to your life. Now, what do you want to say about that?
I agree. Pray about everything. Pray for real, because like I said, those red flags come up, but we see the good. We want to see the good.
Right.
So I truly agree. We're going to pray, and we're going to take our time.
Yes. So my next P is pay attention, right? So maybe in this movie, I don't think, well, she should have paid attention to her women's intuition, right? But that aside, maybe there weren't a whole lot of red flags in this particular movie because things moved at such a rapid pace. But I will say, as we discussed earlier, pay attention. Like you were just saying, if you're being vulnerable and opening up to this person, and they're turning around and telling all your business to somebody else, pay attention to those things. Pay attention when they're talking about their friends. Are they telling their friends business? Because what do you think they're going to do
right
once you tell them yours?
That's my friend.
Right. Pay attention to how they treat other people. Are they nasty? Are they rude? Are they disrespectful to other people in their, the other people who are around them and surround them, because that's probably a key indicator of how they're going to be treating you. We always get the nice representative on the front end, but on the back end, we can see some real scary monster behavior.
Right.
So definitely pay attention to how they're treating you and how they're treating other people. And how they conduct themselves on a regular basis, making sure that your values align. We don't want to be friends with someone who's living a completely different lifestyle than we are, because that's going to be detrimental to us, right? Like if you don't go to the club,
right,
and you don't hang out, and you're kind of on a different page, then you want to ask yourself, how are we going to come together, and how is this relationship going to affect me? So definitely pay attention to those things. And then my third P is protect your peace, right? And I think maybe, did we see that in the movie? Maybe at the end, because her peace had run out.
Yeah, I think.
Now, don't protect it like that. And I won't spoil it for y'all who haven't seen it.
Right. Yeah, she had a peace.
Yeah. So ultimately in this relationship had taken all of her peace. She was just anxious, she was stressed out, she was worried, and sometimes we find ourselves in those relationships because maybe we missed some of the signs on the front end, and now we're paying for it on the back end. But with that being said, if you take the time to evaluate a relationship and you say, you know what, this is not working for me anymore, protect your peace and gracefully bow out and move on. And that's not to say we give up on people, but if you've expressed yourself and the person's not willing to change or grow, then you need to step away and allow God to work on them on their own.
Right. And I say that all the time. That is my word of the year is freedom. Mm-hmm. And a part of my freedom is my peace.
Yes.
I don't care who you are. You could be the aunt, the grandma,
family,
the baba, whoever. I'm gonna protect my peace. Because this mental health thing, we deal with so much. To have someone come in and totally destroy and strip you of your peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they gotta go.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
Right. That friendship costing you too much already.
Too much for yourself.
So I love those 3 P's. I hope you guys got them. And I hope that you have enjoyed everything about this, because I did.
I know. We're going to have to get together and do this thing again, girl.
Yes. We are. She didn't know it, but we are.
Yes.
Okay. But is there anything else that you want to say before we sign off?
I don't think so, but thank you for having me. And
And
that's all I got to say.
I thank you for joining me, and I thank you for being a friend of my confidant.
Yes, and thank you for being a friend to me.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
So the support my business. She does everything. Make sure you get those photos in the Kia Williams Photography. Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Okay.
Follow me. Thank you.
Follow. Do an inquiry. But thank you again for joining me, and thank you guys for listening to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. I am your host, Angie H. God bless. Thank you for tuning in to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. I hope that you enjoyed the show. If you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple, TuneIn, and wherever you get your awesome podcasts, and also on Anchor FM. So remember, we're here every Thursday for some much needed chit chat over your hot cup of tea. Hey guys, Coach Angie here, defining our purpose. What does that mean to you? What does that entail? What does that look like? What do you feel that you may need in order to define your personal purpose? Could it be you need a little inspiration and motivation? Could it be that you need something that's going to help you with your spiritual growth and personal growth? Could it be that you need just a little jump start to begin that holistic health journey that you keep saying that you're going to start? Well, you can find some of these things to help you on my website, www.definingourpurpose.com. If you click on the DOP tab, you can actually find my devotional workbook, Inspirations, ANNESPIRATIONS. This is something that helped me in my dark days, and I wrote it from a place that I needed to find my own personal spiritual growth. Also, you can click on the Niche Charles tab, and there you will find my holistic products that I create by hand, as well as my coaching and different services that I provide. No matter what you need, just know that you don't have to do it alone, that there is someone that you can talk to, and I'm that person if you need me. DefiningOurPurpose.com is where you can find all the information. Also, Inspirations is also found on Kindle and Amazon.